Blender is more complicated than ever, but simultaneously easier to learn. It's been getting this way more and more every single year. We saw this with the introduction of the principled BSDF node. You no longer have to know how to make physically accurate textures from tons of different nodes. It's all in one cohesive package. More complicated to design, but easier to use. But this trend means that users understand less and less about how the actual creation process works. And this has only been worsened with the advent of AI. So while art is getting easier, the artist is getting further and further away from the actual creation process, which leads to the question, how will this impact creativity? For both individual artists and studios, is it important for the artist to be involved in every step of the creative process? Are we losing something the more optimized we become? But this isn't something new. A textbook example of how this works is in studio production. The ideas come from above and they filter down to a team of artists who bring them to fruition. They are incentivized by money rather than passion. The closeness that an artist has to every step of the creative process is something that's lost to scale. When things are scaled up, bigger production teams, more money, longer movies, bigger budgets, something is lost. We've already experienced the first iteration of this. When you pick up a pencil and draw, every stroke is intentional. Everything on the page is something you added personally. It's something that you dreamt up. When you move the medium to digital, you still have that, but now shading is easier. You don't necessarily lose creativity, but it does change. Now let's think about 3D. You no longer have to worry about creating an accurate perspective. You don't have to worry about physical lighting. The render engine handles all that for you. You're now like a director. You get to place lights and allow them to sculpt the image. But there's also closeness in a different way. Whenever you're creating an environment, you get to model and place every plant and structure to allow them to tell your story. You can choose to meticulously place everything to create a story, but once again, something is lost to scale. Scale demands attention, and attention is finite, so we automate. You procedurally scatter. You still get to create the node tree that scatters everything and get to design exactly how you want your environment to look, but it's from a little bit of a higher level. It's a little bit different. It's less personal. Then you start using assets, but you pick out the ones you want. Slowly, as your volume increases, as you make bigger projects, more projects, the small details that make up the beauty of art aren't created by the artist anymore. And it isn't necessarily a bad thing. A good artist knows when detail is important. It would be absolutely absurd to say that you should be placing every rock in a gravel pathway by hand. That's ridiculous. But when this becomes a handicap, a crutch, so that we don't have to create anymore, then we're losing something. Because even when it matters, we won't know how. And if you keep going down that path of pursuing greater scale, more projects, you end up at one of two destinations. The first is that you quit. The art is no longer enjoyable to create at such scale because you're no longer allowed to be an artist. You have to be so far removed from the process to automate so many things that it doesn't even feel like your art anymore. You want to be emotionally involved in the process, but the scale demanded by the industry to make it into your livelihood just prevents that from even being possible. So you may create as a hobby, but it can never be for a living. But what's much more common is that you end up at the other of the two destinations. You end up replacing yourself. You have figured out a way to automate and to speed up every part of the production pipeline. Modeling, rendering, texturing, everything is faster and easier. So in the quest for ever increasing scale and more volume than our society is demanding, you start to leverage AI. Now it does the modeling, the reference gathering, even the idea generation. I was watching a talk that Andrew Price gave at BlenderCon Austin about AI. He said that it's here to stay, so even if we don't like it, we need to adapt lest we become replaced. But as he detailed the workflow and how he uses AI, I couldn't help but think that it doesn't sound like we're even waiting for our employers to replace us anymore. We're voluntarily replacing ourselves. In the talk, he demonstrated how AI was used to help create this lunar scene. But I kept thinking about how dystopian it all felt. AI has turned art into a commodity. And I understand that. Art always has been valuable. It would be great to be able to spend a year on each of my YouTube videos to perfect every little detail, to make sure every word is aligned to produce the message and feeling that I want, but that's just not feasible. In a world where art is your job, scale does matter, but how much? At what point are we sacrificing the very thing that makes art valuable for the sake of scale? If I were learning Blender again for the first time today, I would be more detached from the process than ever before. I think about how much joy I had when I made my first animation. Maybe it's further removed from the medium of art than if I had drawn it on paper, but I remember the feeling of accomplishment I had as I watched this crappy animation play. I felt like I had overcome something, like I had made something with my own hands. There was this idea in my head, and I was just able to put it on the screen. And if I only pursued more skills, got better at the artistic process, got closer to that process, then anything I imagined could be made real. And that's a feeling that we shouldn't ever lose. But so often, we expect our art to be photoreal. We expect ourselves to be experts, to be perfect, that we never allow ourselves to be beginners. And if you never allow yourself to be a beginner, you will never stop being one. But instead now, we have this strange solution. Sure, you can quit, you can never become a beginner, but you can also just use AI to get the skills of somebody that's way more advanced handed to you immediately. You never have to overcome anything. You never have to create anything yourself. It's just done for you. And maybe I just sound like an old man whose horse and plow has just become obsolete because of a tractor, but when we're doing this, we're losing something. If the result is all that matters, then on paper, this is the biggest leap forward we've ever seen, but I don't think it is. When I was 14 years old, opening up Blender for the first time, I felt like this was a medium that I could express myself. Like my imagination had full creative freedom, but that's no longer the case. Sure, you could be a rebel and say, I'm not using AI, but when society is forcing it on you as the only way to realize the increasing demands of scale that they are placing on you if you want to make it in this world, then you really don't have a choice. And even if you still want to use Blender or some other 3D software and create AI models and place them in your scene and design everything how you want, rather than just going text to video and doing the finished format immediately, you still don't have full creative control. In his talk, Andrew showed that if you put in this line of gibberish into Midjourney, you still get this beautiful image. You didn't express that. That isn't a reflection of your imagination made manifest. It's a hallucination. But the AI struggles to fulfill the prompt, soldier enters frame and walks behind a row of soldiers. AI isn't an elevated form of creative expression. It's a hallucination of a memory of art that is regurgitated and then served back to you with a bow. It prioritizes scale over everything else, speed over soul. And that's so sad. But we've gotten used to it, both as artists and consumers. The amount of slop I end up watching on a daily basis sickens me. It doesn't charge me creatively or with passion. It is immediately forgotten. A distraction so I don't have to be bored for a single second, because goodness forbid that I'm not entertained every waking moment. So often we bring that mentality into the art we create. It's like living off snacks. You have this pantry that is full of healthy food, and you could cook something that is delicious and fulfilling and something you're proud of, but it's so much easier, so much more instantly gratifying to grab the bag of Doritos and just to snack on that. But when we do that with art, what's the point? Art isn't something that should be mass-produced. It should be a reflection of the excellence that we see around us, given voice through the pen, or in the case of 3D, the mouse. But when we take shortcuts, it is no longer our voice. We're so afraid of being replaced that we replace ourselves. I'm not advocating that we never adapt to new tools, but that we adapt in the right way, not just to take the path of least resistance. That would lead us to replacing ourselves, but to be pioneers of a world where scale, volume, they matter, but they never supplant creativity.